Today's podcast is brought to you by Casper.com. Receive $50 towards any mattress purchase at www.caspertrial.com/SIBSB.
Until I met my new best friend, all of my boys say I'm tripping. When they call, I'm not answering. They always get my
Alex, are we
voice
rolling? We are
down
rolling.
'cause
Welcome
I
to another episode of Sorry I've Been So Busy. This is the podcast where we talk to very busy people about what they are busy with. Sometimes we talk to not very busy people about what they are pretending to be busy with. I am excited to find out what's going on with today's guest, which category he falls into. Andrew Goldstein is here.
At Ange Gold on Twitter, ANGEGOLD. We can't guarantee that our guest is a busy person.
No, but he will look inward and find out. Producer Alex is here. We're here in the Showbiz Studios. Alex, back from the Amalfi Coast.
You're like George Clooney.
Producing this podcast, a lucrative enterprise. And Alex is able to afford. No, I'm. Where is the amount? I know it's in Italy, but
You're
where?
doing podcasts in Italy?
Yeah,
So it's like off the coast, Naples. You have
Okay.
to go to, and then you take a boat from Naples, and then
Yes.
you're in like Sorrento, Capri.
I went to Capri. We went to Capri.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you do the
Short
caves.
pants. Wear short pants.
Yep. We did the grottos.
The
they're called.
grottos,
The
yeah.
grottos. We did the blue. We did the green. We did all the grottos.
All right.
It was
You're
phenomenal.
very fancy.
Yeah, it was the high life. I'm not gonna lie.
Alex,
Yeah.
you eat a lot of carbs, you eat a lot of pasta.
Yeah, if you poked me right now, dough would just come.
You
pouring out.
you got any gum?
That's exciting. My name's Matt Goldich, by the way. Did I say that? At Matt Goldich on Twitter. We're here at the Showbiz Studios. They got all the podcasts. All the podcasts in New York are at the Showbiz Studios. Did you? Am I correct that Judd Apatow and Pete Holmes were on one of your podcasts? Or am I making that up?
They were on Sean Donnelly's podcast, but
No, Sean
we
McCarthy.
didn't- Sorry, Sean McCarthy. Sorry,
Yes.
but
God, get it straight, man. Yeah.
this is why I get paid.
What
the
else?
big
What
bucks.
else
Paul
you got?
McCartney's podcast.
Paul McCartney's. Yes.
But
Pod on the run.
we did a remote.
Yes.
That's okay.
Remote, yeah.
But, it's still part of the Showbiz network.
Indeed it
Check them
is.
out on the YouTube page. And check us out. We got iTunes. Rate us and review us. And this is how you do this, right?
All that good stuff.
Tweet
5
at us,
stars.
Tweet at us at Busy Podcast if you want to be the busybody of the week, or find us on the Sorry I've Been So Busy Facebook page.
Yeah.
Andrew,
It's all there.
You went to the Bonobo sample sale this morning. What happened? Before
I went
work?
to the Bonobo.
They're not even a sponsor.
9 a.m.
Okay.
9 a.m. We went to the day one of the Bonobo sample sale, the best sample sale of the year. This is like a holiday for me. Kevin Miller and I, my former roommate, former guest of the pod.
Sure.
Kevin Miller and I met at 9 a.m. We got in line, and we went to the Bonobo sample sale. We man shopped, as we call it. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like what we do. That's like part of our friendship.
It's so funny. I was not familiar with this. I knew nothing about it.
love it.
I've talked to you both extensively about
Let me tell you something.
everything
Before
in-
my honeymoon in Hawaii, I went to the Bonobo sample sale, and I outfitted my my entire trip.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Well, thank you, but let's get him to throw us some shekels.
Yeah.
To mention.
Let's go. Come
Yeah,
on,
come
Bonobos.
on, Bonobos.
We'll hashtag them in the
Yeah.
in the posts.
I was at the MailChimp sample sale. No. Speaking of Kevin Miller, actually, Kevin spent a lot of time with us at your bachelor party in Austin a couple of years ago. I was at a different bachelor party in Austin.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I want to
this
hear all
weekend
about
with
it.
with a much younger crew.
Your brother Mitch.
Yeah,
Mazel
and
tov.
it was it was interesting because
Did you go Thursday to Sunday or Friday? to Sunday?
arrived late Thursday night,
Got it,
and
okay.
it. Without naming names, I mean your bachelor party was kind of an older crowd, I would say, by the
As I described, it was 12
late 30s,
12 married Jews complaining about their stomach issues for 4 days.
Yes, and it was it was sort of along my schedule, which is you have a daytime activity and then you sort of rest up for the night, and then you go you make it
My
through the whole
party,
night.
you mean?
Yes,
My
yours
weekend,
was.
yeah.
This one, that was sort of I was the oldest, and I was trying to play kind of den mother, and I tried to warn people, you gotta pace yourself.
Yeah.
And Friday, people did not listen, and not to name names, but it was early to bed. Because people went hard all day.
Blew their load.
Saturday, I made sure. I said, fellas, we got a steak dinner planned tonight. Like, we don't want to miss it. But Friday night there were people who did not to name
Those
names again.
paternal instincts really kick in.
Yeah, did not make it into did not even make it to the.
People didn't make it to the dinner.
No, well they made it to dinner, but after
then they
dinner
didn't make
the
it
bar
out.
hopping was sort of a big bust.
Well, I remember post-bar
some.
Saturday night, you were like, I have to go back to the hotel for at least 15 minutes.
Yes, and then I never returned.
Wink, wink.
I never returned. But by Saturday, it was sort of the opposite, where I stayed out with everybody, and then I had I was out until about, I would say, 2:30, and then I had a 5:50 a.m.
you
flight
just stay up all
Sunday.
night. People
No,
are-
I did go back. I slept for like an hour.
People
and a half.
of our age and our age
Yeah.
bracket have one good night in a 3.5 day bachelor party weekend in
Yeah.
a city like Austin. You have one really good
Yeah.
night. Everything else you have to really.
I napped every afternoon, and I just want to say I was made fun of, and yet I think proven right.
Yeah.
Because
Give me a quick food rundown, and then we'll move on
La
to our
Barbecue,
fantastic
your
guest. You did La Barbecue.
Amazing.
Never
great.
been. I've heard it's the
Did
best.
the pre-order. It was great. And that was probably the highlight meal-wise. We had a steak dinner at this place called ALC Steaks. It was great. We went to a place called the Austin Taco Project for tacos. That was good. And those were basically the three meals.
I saw you did Torchies, no?
That was before I arrived.
Got it.
So,
you did any donuts?
I can't.
Oh, you
do
can't
donuts,
do donuts.
But yeah, it was
right.
kind of.
I love Austin so much.
Yeah.
It's my favorite city.
Yeah, it was great. Let's take a quick break. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with our guest. For you, the listeners of Sorry I've Been So Busy, Casper is offering $50 towards any mattress purchase at Casper.com. This is something we talk about all the time on the podcast. Everybody's so busy. They don't get enough sleep. Their sleep is interrupted. They got their phone by the bed. They're checking it in the middle of the night. We're not going to change any of these things, so why not get a better sleep on a better mattress from Casper.com? To receive $50 towards any mattress purchase, go to CasperTrial.com/SIBSB. Again, that's CasperTrial.com/SIBSB for $50 towards any mattress purchase. And we're back with our guest for today, a guy I've met a few times, got to hang out with him earlier this summer. I understand, Andrew, you've had some contact with him.
I
as
have
well,
an
but I've never met
amazing
him.
claim to fame with this guy, but introduce him and then we're going to get to it.
And
He doesn't even know what his claim to
comedian,
fame is.
podcaster, wrestling aficionado, and we'll mention, but husband of a past guest on the podcast, which I will have to keep track of how many couples we've had on separately. Dan Black is here.
Dan Black.
Hey,
Welcome.
thanks
The
for
Dan
having
Black
me.
Attack.
That's
Yes,
right.
that's right.
We're a
You're
morning radio show.
here in New
Yeah.
York. How many? I'm trying to think. Your wife Jamie Lee,
Yes.
who's wonderful.
We had the
was on.
Lowitts.
We had the Lowitts on. Are there any other married couples I'm missing? I can't think of
We
it. But,
had.
there might. I feel like there's one more,
like
but I
there's
don't
one
know
more.
who it is. We talked about having Rachel Feinstein's firefighter
Oh, that'd be fun.
fiance on, but it never worked out.
And to my wife's chagrin, we've never had our wives on.
No. To mine's relief. Dan,
Hey.
you live in L.A., but you've been here most of the summer, right?
I do, yeah. I've been
Yeah.
here for 6 weeks, something like that.
We hung out. I was lucky enough to go check out Crashing being shot earlier this summer one night.
You went to
We had a
set.
great time.
I went to set. We did have a great time, and it was a big relief for me because I went not really knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
I'm friendly with Jamie. I said, "Can I come?" And she said yes. But I didn't know am I going to be by myself? And thankfully, you were there with your brother.
Yeah.
And we ended up hanging out the whole night. It was great.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Jamie had wrote that episode, so I was trying to watch as much of them filming it as possible.
Wait, no, did she? I don't think I knew that. The one outside the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah, she wrote them. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's funny. I was there the whole night. I didn't know. That's crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was acting in it.
Yeah, she acted and wrote in it, and
Yeah.
so she was.
She's a dual threat.
So so we were hanging out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of downtime, especially for guys just spectating.
Yes, we were
talk about
spectating.
being fake busy.
You were beyond
that was
spectating.
being fake busy.
Well, you were cheerleading. Well,
Yeah.
well, first of all, you were helping her run lines in between. You were, which is
yeah.
nice to have somebody who can do that, who actually has acted in things. So it's like you're not just
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't. Was I doing that? I don't
You were
normally
running
do that.
lines.
Normally there's
Yeah.
a dude who helps her with that. But maybe I was. I was being a
were?
nice dude. That
Yeah,
Were you
day.
just standing 2 feet away from Pete Holmes, like, get off my wife?
Yeah, I was real pissed.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here, man.
And I say this
Staring at him.
and I say this not to make fun of you. It was
Yeah.
very sweet, but we were in the truck, we were watching, and you were cheering her on, like from behind the monitor. You're like, oh, she's so great. This is great. You know, like,
Yeah.
You're just sort of like,
I'm very excited for her.
Yeah.
It's amazing. She
Yeah.
wrote it. It's acting.
Yeah, it's exciting. You
It
know,
was fun.
She did our podcast.
Listen, we've
really
been together a long time, and
Yeah.
when we first started dating, we were both just comics in the city, you know,
Yeah.
and to see like the progress, it's incredible just to have that you know. And I don't have a weird ego about that.
No.
Some people are weird about their spouses where they're at. I don't
No.
get that.
And also,
I'm competing with her.
and by
We're on the same team.
You got to
Yeah.
root. You got to root for
Exactly. Yeah. Well, once the bank accounts are linked, no. But but also like I would be, I would think, and you probably don't even realize the extent of this, but you've probably soaked up a ton just being on that set with all those people with is everything okay?
Yeah, no, my
Alex,
headset.
you good?
It's like I can't hear that well out of it. That's why I saw.
Alex
will come in when he
we got a
comes
problem.
back.
Yeah,
When
sorry.
he gets back.
I didn't want to derail
but
you guys.
When
but
Alex gets back from the Amalfi Coast, he
Listen.
can.
I was there last summer.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Great time. I went to it's like
Now I'm
it's like muddy.
Now
Like,
I'm really loud. Let's leave this in.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
So we were talking about crashing and how much you must soak up being on set.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I mean, that episode, I believe, was Judd Apatow directing when you were there?
He was not directing, but he was there and he was heavily involved. He was, yeah.
So I think the week after, or maybe the day, I don't know, he started directing, and then for me, it's awesome to get to see him work. You know, I'm a big fan of his. And
He was very. I thought it would be like say the line this way, but it was more just like the little that I saw was more like talking about the emotion, talking about what the characters were feeling at the time. It was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very loose in a way that I dig. You know, my background is improv.
Yeah.
And so seeing that the freedom they have on camera was pretty incredible to watch.
I'm sure you got to witness a lot of joke pitching, right?
Yeah.
On set.
Yeah, they throw out.
That seems like the most fun part.
That's actually the frustrating thing is when you're there and you have one, and I'm like,
can't.
look, I don't work here. I'm
Yeah.
just the set husband.
Ugh,
Yeah.
Jamie's husband again.
Yeah,
I know.
well, I'm still worried about being that guy that I hide in the back, and people are like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know you were here.
No. I believe the rule of thumb there is if you're going to say something, it better be fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you get one a year and don't blow it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I didn't do any.
You were going to say he has a claim.
Yeah,
Okay,
what's the claim to fame?
You are one of two people in my life that I've never met in person, but has sent me a piece of wrestling paraphernalia in the mail.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm happy to
You
have
and
done
Peter
that.
Hoare. Peter Hoare,
I love Peter
the
Hoare.
screenwriter.
You've never met Peter Hoare in person?
I had, but at the time I hadn't.
okay, all right.
And I was doing like a week at Fuse on this Insane Clown Posse show. I know.
Sure.
It sounds
Yes.
made up.
Yeah.
And he found me, because he was working at Fuse at the time, found me, introduced himself, and handed me a Greg the Hammer Valentine t-shirt.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I love Peter Hoare.
Yeah.
We talk.
It was like Drop the Hammer, the boot.
Yeah.
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 We're going
And
to
you
get
sent
into
me this-
wrestling.
you
I sent you
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels hat.
You sent me the
We've
Shawn
been
Michaels
talking
hat.
for a while.
Yeah.
On
We're like pen
Twitter.
pals.
We were like weird new age pen pals.
Yeah.
Where you
Yeah.
would send me like an article you wrote. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And I would share them and read them, and I love them. And
We're just,
that's great.
There's such a wrestling scene out in LA that there's all these people that I'm like, oh, if I was living in LA, I feel like I'd be hanging with these people all the time.
Yeah. Like we were just
complete FOMO.
Yeah.
All the time.
Totally. But it's also the New York. It's the New York.
You probably feel it about New York.
Yeah,
'cause there's
absolutely.
yeah. So we can talk about
Yeah,
wrestling
we
at
won't
the
bore
end.
you with all the wrestling.
No, it's fine.
But I just thought
all
it was
I do
fun
is
that
talk about wrestling.
We had never met, but you sent me like a piece of
Do you
fun.
rock that or what? I sent you a Shawn Michaels hat.
Yeah, I wore it. I think I wore it once or twice.
Okay.
I mean, I could say this every.
I think it's
honestly, it's up at work right now at my colleague's desk who also worked at WWE. Who's a pretty huge wrestling fan. So I kind of gave it to him.
I thought it was a cool hat.
Yeah.
Did another wrestler die this week?
Yeah,
There've been
Jimmy and Bill Neidhart.
57th week in a row, I think.
Here's
right?
the thing.
No.
All of my heroes, because they're all sort of like in their mid-60s now,
Yeah.
because like I started watching in like 85, 86, 87. So that whole generation, they're all starting to kind of like get picked off.
Yeah.
So last week was Nikolai Volkov. This week was Jim the Anvil Neidhart. God forbid, who knows next week.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, they had the whole picture of the Hart Foundation. Only Brett's alive.
Well, what I found interesting about that picture, so it's a picture of 5 guys, and Brett in the middle is alive, and the rest of them are dead. And so they black and whited everybody except Brett's in color. And I was like, is this the Hart Foundation or that scene from Schindler's List?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Bret Hart's the girl in the red dress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, the girl in the pink dress.
You've found...
Juden!
You've found
Die, Jews!
We're all
fellow
Jews.
No, I think
Schindler's List
I think her
wrestling,
line was "Die, Jews."
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it was goodbye, Jews.
Oh, goodbye, Jews.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was a little morbid.
Yeah.
Okay, on to other things. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I'm excited
The other
to be
thing
here.
I always notice from your social media is that you mentioned you have an improv background. Is you do a lot of stuff with an old friend of mine, Colton Dunn,
Yeah,
from Superstore.
Yeah, Colton and I do an improv show every Tuesday in LA called Tuesday Club at UCB Franklin, and Colton Dunn's on my improv team.
Amazing.
Yeah,
It's cool that like he's on a huge sitcom that's almost at syndication level, and he's still doing improv shows and like in the community and at the theater.
Oh, and he's super into it, to the show also. Yeah.
It's amazing. So
And
Colton was a cast member on Boiling Points, which was my first writing job.
Oh, yeah, right. That was with like Billy Merritt.
Everybody's doing. Rebecca Johnson's on Glow. She's been on the pod. John Blitz at Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because I heard you, I think, on Gabrus's podcast, maybe,
Yeah.
talking about Viacom jobs.
Oh yeah.
And I love that.
You
That was
mean
so specific.
An hour and a half of me burning bridges. We
Oh, that's right. You
talked about life
yeah,
at MTV.
Yeah.
I had like a couple weird Viacom.
We all have.
Yeah.
We all have.
That's the one thing you probably don't miss about New York. Although I'm sure those things exist in LA too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Viacom's like one of the bigger games in town, so everybody kind of does a tour.
yeah, I mean,
I did it. I happened to do a 10-year one.
yeah. Do you work for Viacom now at
No.
all? No, not anymore. Never.
Did you grow up on Long Island?
I did.
Or, yeah. Did you know Gabrus or
No, I don't know Gabrus.
Do
He
you
knows
know
my
Gabrus
cousin.
types?
I know. Do I know Gabrus types? I am a
You're-
Gabrus
yeah,
type.
you are a Gabrus
I've
type.
literally been cast in things when Gabrus can't make it.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
Who
like-
can we get?
I've been handed multiple scripts for things
Where his name's crossed
name
out?
is crossed
Oh, amazing.
out.
Yeah.
Sometimes not even crossed out. They're just like you
need the Long Island bicep tat.
Oh yeah, with
gotta get
the
that,
Braun
yeah.
Strowman, just like
Yeah.
he's got the Long Island there.
What's the town you're from in Long Island?
I'm from North Shore, Long Island, so I'm from Roslyn Heights.
Okay.
So my wife's from Roslyn.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that before.
Probably on
That's awesome.
On one of our late night chats.
Yeah,
one of your
yeah.
late night DMs.
Yeah.
Slid into his DMs.
It gets sexy, yeah, it
Yeah.
does. But yeah, she's from.
But what's the difference between Roslyn and Roslyn Heights? Like other side of the tracks?
Roslyn's nicer.
Right. Okay.
I'm on the
Dude,
other side. I went to Herrick's High School. She probably went to Roslyn High School.
Yeah,
That
I could do
seemed-
10 minutes on Roslyn area restaurants that I've gone to with Jamie.
Oh
That
yeah.
seems counterintuitive. You would think the Heights would be the nicer area. Like you would look down on the town. of Roslyn.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
What was your Chinese
the
restaurant
Lowe's.
as a kid? Because
Well, I lived near Tofu, but it's not called Tofu anymore.
Right.
I don't know what it's called. It like went on fire one time, and now it just keeps changing names every 10 months.
Interesting. I'm
You know?
excited for Jamie to hear that.
Where's Jones Beach is the South Shore, right? Or is it the,
I'm not even sure. I think it's North Shore Jones Beach. No,
is it? I don't know.
You were just there
I saw Weezer.
I have no
Weezer.
idea.
How do you not know that? You're Long
I go to
Island
Jones
knowledge
Beach.
is-
I've been to Jones Beach, but I don't know.
You're the
what
only
it is.
person from Long Island who doesn't know every piece of geography there is. To
I know,
about
that's
Long
shocking.
Island.
Yeah, I don't know the geography of where Jones Beach is. I'm pretty sure it's North Shore because it's close to me. But
Yeah.
maybe I'm driving down to the South Shore to get there. I have no
Maybe.
idea. But I've been to the venue a couple times. I dragged my wife Jamie to a John Mayer concert at that.
Wait, hold up. That is the reverse of what you would think.
Hunan
You drag-
Taste is where we like.
Yeah, Hunan Taste is real good.
That's like White Tablecloth.
Yeah, that's a really good place.
so good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it normally be the wife dragging the husband to the John Mayer concert?
No. My wife she likes the cool stuff. I want to September 10th. We're going to Dave Matthews Band at the Hollywood Bowl. I like to go to all. I've notoriously bad music taste, which I disagree with.
Hold up.
But I have to.
Wait a
Yeah.
second. I'll one up everybody here.
Yeah.
Jamie and I are going to Michael McDonald next week.
I saw he's
Oh,
in
yeah.
town.
the
Yeah.
South Street
I would
Seaport.
watch that.
Here's what happened. I'm a huge yacht rock era fan, like
Yeah.
slow 70s.
Doobie
rock
Brothers?
and roll, all of it. And so all this summer, I found the Yacht Rock Sirius station. So
Yeah.
every weekend driving to the beach, I've been like obsessively playing that in the bridge. And so she's really gotten into Yacht Rock. And now she like legit loves Michael McDonald.
Well,
so we're going to the
in
show.
L.A., Simmons went to
I know, I
McDonald's,
listened to that-
Kenny
that whole
Loggins,
podcast.
and Christopher Cross.
That was one of the great podcasts of the year.
Yeah.
Him and
talk about the Yacht Rock.
Nathan, whatever
Yeah.
that guy's name is.
Speaking of wrestling, Jamie, me and my wife Jamie,
Your Jamie,
we both
Yes,
have Jamie. Yeah,
that's
my
true.
Jamie.
Another
yes, very
commonality
possessive.
between the two of you, yes.
Yeah,
I'll say Jamie 1, you say Jamie.
yeah. My Jamie, the secondary Jamie that I married. No, we always talk about like what her wrestling entrance song would be.
Oh, great.
And the song she chose is "What a Fool Believes" by the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, that strikes fear in the heart of any opponent.
Yeah. So anyway,
I think mine would be Lovin' Every Minute of It by Loverboy.
Well,
I don't know. I only know.
dial all the way.
That'd be good. Or
Working for the Weekend?
The Toto song you like.
Oh,
Not Africa.
Rosanna? No, Hold
No.
the Line.
Hold the line. That's
Hold
like
the line.
that's
Love is it always on time. By the way, this is the other
Hold
thing.
the
So
line.
when I saw Weezer, they cover Africa now at concerts. It's a big thing. I don't know if you saw, but Toto covers.
Toto.
They first of all they cover Hash Pipe,
Which
which is the weird
I
Weezer
know.
song.
I need Weezer to
Sounds
cover
whack.
Rosanna, which is
They did.
They did.
It exists.
I need to.
That
you
was
to send-
first.
I need you
before
to find
Africa.
that and send that
It exists.
to me.
Um,
That's the far better Toto song, but everybody knows Africa.
So-
but Rosanna is the best. That's like one of the best songs ever written.
I don't know any. I only know Africa.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
now I'm going to
you
go on
know
a Toto.
Rosanna and Hold the Line.
What would your entrance song be?
Oh, that's where it comes from. Is that my entrance song is Hall and Oates, Out of Touch,
Wow.
which is
Saw them in concert too.
Yeah, we-
not a particularly popular or good Hall and Oates song,
No.
but I just heard it one time and
Nothing
just became a
strikes
running
fear
joke
in the
on my
heart of your
podcast.
opponent like the sweet, soulful sounds of John Oates.
Absolutely.
What is okay, tell me about this because I'm not a wrestling guy. What personifies a wrestling entrance song versus like a baseball closer entrance song? Is there anything different about it? Or
Basically
is
the
it
same
basically
criteria. It
thing?
needs to be like pump up,
Intimidating.
or it needs to be like expressive regarding like your character.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Undertaker, it was like a bell tolls, and it's very like you feel like you're going to a funeral.
Yeah.
So it's like either character driven or just like hard charging. You know, especially in this era, it's
Yeah.
just like a rock riff.
It might start with like a weird rhetorical question, you know, like
Yeah.
you think you know me. You're like, what's for breakfast?
Something to set
and
the
then,
mood.
and then
Well, that's a newfangled thing in
Yeah.
in the last 10 years is the Vince McMahon sting on the front.
right.
Actually, I'd say 20 years because when I was growing up, it was just like Eye of the Tiger or I Am a Real American.
Yeah. Well, that had a slow
Or like
build.
the Road Warriors came down to Iron Man by
Yeah.
Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath.
These are all the same closer songs. Yeah.
It was like harder rock, and then it morphed into like that like alternative
In the-
Saliva.
In the
You know,
early, it was way better.
Bodies at the floor.
Well, that was
stuff like that.
ECW.
Oh.
In the literally in the early '80s, it was way better when they didn't care about rights and clearances, and like everybody just came to, like the Freebirds came down to like, Freebird,
Yeah.
and like they weren't clearing all of this music, but now everything.
I love how you're thinking of it from the TV producer perspective
Yeah,
of
of
like,
course,
has
of
anyone called legal?
Yeah,
I don't want to bog you. I haven't.
there are 3 publishers on this song. We can't afford
No,
this.
go ahead. What were
No,
you
it's
saying?
another. We can't go down a wrestling.
No,
road.
no, no.
I will say I was recording my podcast with Dolph Ziggler today.
Oh, nice.
And,
You're like in with Dolph. I want to talk
the
about
wrestler I've met.
He says what up. He said what up to you.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, because you
I-
guys did a show together recently. He said, or
No,
something.
no. Many years ago, I don't think I was on the show, but I went to see him perform on a show with some friends, and then we went to Cantor's afterwards. I went
Yeah,
and I
you
had a
said you
meal.
hung out.
I had a meal with him.
Yeah.
My wife was there. It was very random because it was like if I had to guess, I would say it was appealing for him because I'm not a wrestling fan, and so
Oh, he probably
I
loved
just sort
it.
of like treated him like a
didn't have to
guy.
talk.
Like I didn't
Right.
really,
Was his hair flat ironed when you saw him, or curly?
Well, he just came in from Raw,
Yeah,
so
I'm not
I
enjoying
think
the flat iron.
You don't like it?
No, I like that he's changing up his look because now he's like really a bad guy. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the look.
It's too straight for you.
Yeah.
It's got no puff to it. Like he says he's into like
Yeah.
80s hair metal, but it's flat. I think you should blow it out.
I enjoy his work.
I feel like he was one of the first guys doing comedy from the wrestling.
Well, I would say Mick Foley.
Yeah, and now it seems like there's a bunch, right?
Mick Foley started the storytelling trend in comedy of like retired wrestler goes on comedy tour telling fun, ridiculous stories. And now they all, like Roddy Piper did it.
Yeah.
Jake Roberts does it.
Yeah.
And then there's guys like Dolph who like actually try stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so anyway, said what up.
Oh, nice. That's good to know. And you grew up on Long Island with a handsome brother who's an accountant who I met.
Clint Black. No, that's
yeah. No, Neil Black, my brother.
Neil Black
that you met. We were hanging out with. Yeah, he's like
a surfer dude. You would never guess that he's your brother.
He's a cyclist.
Yeah,
he's like a dude who like is like all about. He was a D1 athlete in college, and then. You know those guys like after college they don't know what to do with themselves. Yeah. He's like one of those guys where he's like he was doing CrossFit. He's like hard into CrossFit, and then he was doing now.
But career-wise, where does that get you besides personal trainer? Nowhere. So you have to like.
He's like a manager at a Big Four accounting firm. So like he has a job, but all his energy besides that is like I need to compete. I need to get
the Big Four is my favorite accounting conference.
Yes, no, that's the good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They always do well.
They're going to add accounting firms to it and make it like the Big 12, and it's going to be watered down.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track, obviously. And then, of course, in accounting they have April Madness.
Yeah,
that's the.
Fill out your bracket.
Oh, I was going to talk about this because we were talking about bachelor parties, and I remember you told me. I remember hearing about this, that yours was Wrestlemania. It was in Dallas, right? It was like randomly because Jamie's from Dallas.
Yeah. So I love wrestling. I guess it just dominates my whole existence
Apparently.
now. Yeah, it's amazing. My bachelor party. When we were thinking about what to do for my bachelor party, part of the thing is that like I'm from here, but my wedding was in LA.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a big trip for a lot of people.
That's middle for everybody.
Yeah.
Middle of the country.
It's not so bad. It's not like a weird destination wedding, but for a lot of people, they were coming into town.
Well, what you could argue going to Dallas is another country. I'm just saying.
Yeah. You could not for me because I go there so much, but I guess it is still another country for a Long Island Jew.
Peter Rosenberg did his bachelor party around WrestleMania in Miami. So,
but that's better.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Miami, it's like you're in Miami.
The template is not crazy to me.
He did it around WrestleMania, or he did
WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
So I just was like, and it was like whatever WrestleMania. That's what we're doing it because the timing was my wedding was April 30th. And then wedding, beginning
WrestleMania season.
Right, it's perfect timing. I was like, I'm doing it wherever it is.
It's great.
And then it was in Dallas, which is where my in-laws live, where I go. I go so much to Dallas. It's like
if you didn't do it there, it would be stupid.
Yeah. Well, my buddy is engaged right now in Shabiro.
Yes.
And we're talking about who doing his bachelor party at WrestleMania also because we're just like all big marks.
Amazing.
And then they made it at New York. It's in New Jersey.
Right.
But so it's just like, oh, shit, I don't want to do my bachelor party in New Jersey.
Every 3 months, there's some big wrestling. I mean, every week there's some big wrestling thing.
Not as big as WrestleMania, but yes, you're technically right.
This is the...
I did my bachelor party around Unforgiven.
Yeah.
Which is the name of a dumb
Sure, yeah. No, but this is...
Great Balls of Fire.
Oh, yeah.
This is the thing,
Did they do that again?
As a non-wrestling person, this is like the thing that's confusing, like, to me, because... They always say, like, oh, this is the Super Bowl of X, but it's, like, in the middle of the season, and it's very, like the
There is no season, though. Wrestling's 365 days a year.
Yes, and that's why it doesn't make any...
Best.
But it's the mile marker.
I guess so.
It's the mile marker, because if you look at it like a TV season, the season starts over. The season premieres the night after WrestleMania, the Monday Night Raw. Because that's when all the stories reboot, all the characters kind of switch places.
Yeah. It's like the Daytona 500. They call it like the biggest thing in racing, but it's at the beginning of the year. I don't get it. But you're saying it really does serve as like
it really is the mile marker.
Yeah, it's like New Year's Eve.
Yeah. It's like Rosh Hashanah.
It's like Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah. No, it's really like Rosh Chodesh.
No, well, it's like...
when do you restart the Torah?
I know. Simchat... No, not Simchat.
Yeah, Simchat Torah.
Simchat Torah.
It's Simchat Torah.
Okay, all right.
WrestleMania is the Simchat Torah.
Yes. Goodbye, Jews.
I went to Hebrew school for my whole life. I don't. I still don't know what's a Simchas Torah. I know it, but I don't know what.
The weird thing is, you went to Hebrew school at
Simchas
Jones
Torah
Beach Amphitheater.
No, Torah celebration.
What? But wait, there was something I was going to say. Why don't you go for his bachelor party? Like go to like like another country wrestling, like Mexican wrestling or like
That'd be hot.
Japanese wrestling. Go something like fun.
Yeah, I mean,
They don't have Alex money.
They don't have it. No,
Yeah,
you
go
gotta,
like
you gotta
New-
have
New
that
Japan.
Amalfi Coast.
Yeah.
but I mean, I guess we could. He wants to go to Tel Aviv. That's the big debate.
My
that could be
sister-in-law
fun.
just got back. It's
Yeah.
like crushing over there. The food game,
Is good.
outrageous. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've been there before. I don't know, it's a big debate. We're like, man, come on, like you have such an outrageous place for us to all to go to. Everyone to fly
Everybody
there.
has to fly to Israel.
The key,
Weird.
I will say, and you probably, I mean, like for me, the number one thing the Bachelor Party is like make it in a place where everyone can come because it's cheesy, but having all your friends there is the most important thing.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
How about Lebanon?
Yeah.
Beirut is hot. It's a hot city.
Just 10 Jews and
Yeah.
just enter Lebanon.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
Show us your tits, and you're dead.
Yeah, Shabiro is a guy who went to college with my wife, and we and lived with you and Jamie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
the three of you.
Yeah.
it was like a Three's Company type
It was
situation.
it was a crazy situation. So like, me and Shabiro, this guy, we lived in an apartment. It was just like a one bedroom with a fake wall, and then me and Jamie started dating, and she just basically was there all the time, and then we were like, hey, let's just keep doing this. Like when she just like got rid of her apartment, and we're like, probably gonna move to LA soon, so let's live here. We lived there, and looking back, I don't know how we did that. We were like crammed in. It was me and my wife.
It's a very New York thing. Is a couple lives with another person.
Once you move to LA and you have all the space that you have, like not, I mean, in comparison, it's a lot of space.
Sure.
You start thinking about all the compromises you made in
yeah, of
space in New
course.
York, and you go like, "Wow, I was
I always
really
tell
persecuted
people,
against."
Yeah.
I always tell people New York first, and then LA. Because if you do LA first and then come to New York, you have to make all the compromises for space. And,
Yeah.
and
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure New York is the only city where people will live together for months after they break up. Like that's the only way.
Yeah,
you
we
hear
have
stories
to,
like
because
that where it's like
you literally don't have the money to move out.
and nobody else
You
has a
can't do
couch.
it.
Or,
I can't
yeah.
put down 3 months worth of rent now, plus pay my old rent for 3 more months because we can't live together anymore.
Yeah, I mean, people. It's just the compromises you got to make to be here. But when we lived here, I've been in LA for 4.5 years or something like that, and I've been here I was here for 6 weeks or whatever. And you start realizing, like, I never appreciated New York City, even like I do now.
Yeah.
Like being back this summer, I was like, wow. The other day I was walking through the Village and I picked up some pizza. I was just walking with a box of pizza. It was Saturday night. I'd just done a stand-up show. Packed house. They loved me. I mean, I killed it. All my classic material.
Yeah.
And I'm just walking through the city feeling good. And I'm walking by people just like kissing against the fence and like, right over here, and then just like, I don't know, like it's like
New
a
York.
movie. It's like cinematic.
Especially in the
But I never
summer.
appreciate when I was here. I didn't, because I grew up here.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
LA, it's, waiting for your car to be pulled around.
LA stinks. You guys ever think about living in LA
He
or
did.
what?
Matt
I lived
did.
there for 3 years.
I was there for chunks of time,
It
but
was
Matt's
fine.
really been there.
You got to be working. That's the key.
Yeah, it's like whatever. I mean, like for me, I shoot things. I shot a commercial right before I left at work. But what I do 2 days on set on a commercial, and then audition. It's 1 hour of the day.
You take-
and then you're like,
Whatever roles Gabrus doesn't get.
yeah, I take whatever
Yeah.
Gavers can get. So when you're in LA and you're like, okay, well, I'm all the way on the west side now. I got to be back on the west side in a couple hours. Don't want to sit in traffic. It's it's fucking brutal.
Right. There's all those concessions you have to make.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, you're talking about not being busy in LA.
Are you
Can literally kill
all
you.
your time in traffic? Are you podcast or are you music? Well, give us the ratio. Break it down.
I would say 70-30.
Podcast or music?
Yeah, podcast.
it's sad,
More
right?
podcasts.
I mean, I love podcasts. I'm the biggest advocate, but like, I just don't listen to music anymore unless I'm in the car with my wife.
Yeah. What are you into any new music? See,
Well,
this is
I have to be because of my job. I kind of like have to know what the Migos are doing,
Oh, right.
and like I need to know that "Boot Up" is the song of the summer. But
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds
Yeah.
good.
These are things.
My wife and I have agreed on Sirius when we're in the car. XMU is which is the indie rock. It's the only new music that I can tolerate.
You
So it's
like
like
indie, yeah.
it has that perfect combination of like making her feel like it's cool and it's something that's new. And
we
listening,
listen to the pop station. It's in our rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm by myself in a car, I have to listen to old songs that I know the words to and can sing along and to like keep me going.
Right.
And then if I am with another person, I use that as an
Do you
excuse
play
to listen.
regular music in the car with Graham, or is it all Graham-related children's
Oh no.
audio?
All
Are you playing like Beatles music? And...
all regular music. Unless like it's a dire situation,
Right.
Where, like,
We've been talking a lot about Michael Wilbon was on the James Andrew Miller podcast. Sorry,
Yeah.
And I'm a nerd, and he talked about how he's old and has a young child. He has like a 6-year-old, and he's like young kids because they have so much of everything they like, and it's so readily accessible that they have no appreciation for like classic things and things that your parents appreciate and like the way we did. Like our parents are lame, but you still kind of appreciated the Beatles and Elvis and Sinatra and whatever your parents were into. And he's like, that doesn't really exist anymore, and you have to kind of like make it part of their life.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like,
I
thinking
think
about
when
like
they're
put in your car, you're
Yeah.
playing the Beatles. That Beatles Sirius XM station is like
it's
very
a tough
important.
thing because when you're real young, you kind of mold them the way you want, but you don't want to push. You don't want to mold them too hard into like little clones of yourself because then it's creepy.
Yeah.
You know, and you want them to.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Oh, you are. You're just gonna go for it.
I mean, if my kid doesn't like wrestling, that's gonna be a wild thing. All right, keep going. Sorry.
No, that's an interesting. No, because I've had this thought with like the Philadelphia sports teams too, where it's like I'm not pushing it on him, but we went to like
You
a
say
Phillies,
Philadelphia sports scene?
Yeah,
You're big.
the
You're
team,
big.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
big
yeah,
Philly
yeah,
guy.
the Eagles,
Both of
Phillies,
us,
both.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
I went so like
but you're not. You don't live there.
like we went to the Phillies Mets doubleheader, and he liked Mr. Met, which is fine. I'm not gonna not let him like Mr. Met. He's 3. Let him make his own choices. But when I'm in the house, we're gonna be watching Eagles.
Just get him a
games.
little Philly fanatic.
He has a little Philly fanatic. He
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
It. I think
Are
he
you
will.
Mets or Yankees? How does
I'm a Yankees guy.
How does
Yeah.
Long Island breaks down to Yankees?
I mean, the thing with the Mets, like, all right, first off, I hate sports. Professional wrestling fan, but I will not exclusively, yes, but I did grow up a big Yankees fan because of my family.
Got it.
My dad's family's all from the Bronx.
And what was your wrestling venue?
wow.
Meadowlands?
Wait, my venue?
Yeah, like where you.
Oh,
went
I
as
mean
a kid.
MSG.
Yeah.
Nassau Coliseum was our big one.
Yeah,
Nassau
done,
Coliseum
of course,
was
carry the lead. Okay.
Yeah.
The playground at Roslyn Heights Elementary.
Hey.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
absolutely.
I used to put my friend Doug Lee in the figure 4 leg lock in the back of class.
Does that hurt? Does it hurt?
Yeah, no, it does. But here's the thing. Sorry, quick.
No, please.
The figure 4 leg lock on TV, the announcers sell it as it hurts your knee. It doesn't hurt your knee; it hurts your shin.
Oh.
But they
Does
say
it hurt when you do the flip?
Yeah,
You know when they
it actually
reverse
does.
pressure?
It actually does. I'm actually really good at most submission holds. I can put them on.
Yeah, that's.
Although
I
now
love that.
the like new crazy ones with the flipping and stuff, I can't do. But the old ones,
Try a heel hook.
yeah.
Yeah, but I was saying,
Indian Deathlock, very good at it. SDF.
SDF doesn't look like it hurts at all.
Well,
especially the way
John
Cena does
doesn't
it.
lock it in. Okay, moving.
Why
on.
doesn't lock it in.
When you say Indian Deathlock, is it a Native American thing or is it from the country?
Probably.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
probably
it's
no good.
you put somebody in like a hold and then you pour curry
okay.
sauce all over them.
Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah,
Saffron rice.
I was
Yeah.
trying.
It's when you were going out to find spices, but you
Yeah.
accidentally put a submission
There
hold
we
on
go.
somebody.
Yeah.
No, but
Anyway,
there's two questions
it
there.
hurts your
But
shin. I'll put it on you after the podcast. Okay,
I would love that.
Moving on.
Yankees. My family's like big Yankees marks.
Right.
Like marks. Yeah, they're big Yankees fans. My grandpa joined. His story was like he joined. He signed up for World War II because Joe DiMaggio went.
Wrestling question, but more general. Are you friends with Skyler Astin now? Because he's like he's like in the wrestling community in LA.
Yeah, he comes on my podcast a lot. Yeah. So the thing with Skyler is
he's another one I've never met, but we've communicated because he's like adjacent to my text chain.
Yeah. Skyler and I shot a commercial together where I played his best friend. He was playing himself. And he went to go, it was for like Schick razors or something. And, he went to go get a shave as Skyler Astin. and I was his friend who accompanies his friend
Right.
to a professional shave.
I always
as
ask Matt.
friends do.
I
As
always
friends
ask
do.
Matt to come to the barbershop with me to hold
Yeah.
hold
I
my
mean,
hand.
you did go to the bonobo sale with Kevin.
I
this
did,
morning.
I
Go
did.
on.
I had a lot of questions about that, but I wasn't
no,
technically
no,
on mic
jump
yet.
in.
I thought that was a bit. I was like, oh, that's a great,
No, I
that's
like
a great
clothes. I
ad
like
lib.
clothes.
And then I know.
I like shopping.
So
That's
you-
great.
So you came with him to get a shave.
No, it's not that there's anything wrong with shopping. I just thought
But
it
I-
just sounded fake. It
No, but
sounded like you.
I asked
At 9 in the
because-
morning, it sounds fake.
I ask
yeah.
about Skyler because it's also very interesting. Because like we communicate about wrestling, but also like Jamie knows him like from growing up. No, like
Yeah.
like he's from Long Island, and so now. But she's like,
Probably at the camp with him or something.
How are you? Like, how are you friends with him? And I'm like, I'm not really, but he's. It's like it's just
It's
a
weird.
funny merging of worlds.
Well, it's a weird thing.
And I'm like,
'cause
I
you
love
guys have
Pitch
your
Perfect,
whole.
and now like that guy is like weirdly talking to me about Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah. We shot that thing. It was like a couple of years back, and I played his friend on set, and then we kind of kept in touch a little bit. He was, and he was very hardcore into MMA, I believe, at the time, and I think he's still into MMA, but then he got into wrestling more, and he listened to my podcast, and then now he comes on the podcast a
I
bunch
love
and
it. It's
comes to my house for Royal Rumble.
Like I said,
Great
the
guy.
LA wrestling scene seems so much fun because there's like celebrities, non-celebrities, comedians, like everybody's into it.
Yeah, if you were in LA, you would have been at my Royal Rumble party. It was like
sure.
Shoemaker and
best.
Freddie
Schilling.
Prinze Jr.'s there.
No, but I want to get Freddie Prinze on my podcast so
He's a good
bad.
wrestling
Yeah.
guy.
Did you work? You worked with him?
No, he came. He was after me.
Yeah. I love that he's such a mark.
Yeah. Love
Yeah.
it.
And I love She's All That.
By the way, wait.
I'm a She's All That mark.
Am I correct? Did we talk about this? I didn't see the Andre the Giant documentary.
That's
but
so good.
But as a non-wrestling fan, I'm not crazy. They didn't get Wallace Shawn
Who?
from Princess Bride. His the actor Wallace Shawn. Did they
no, but
interview
they
him?
got like
Inconceivable.
Yeah,
yeah, but they got like everyone else from
How do you
Princess
not?
Bride.
How do you not get?
They got the blonde-haired guy, and they got
Carrie Ellis, yeah.
and they got
Robin Wright
Wright
Penn.
Penn.
Oh, okay. So they
I was
did
at the
get-
premiere.
Yeah, so good.
I was very excited.
I went to the Ric Flair 30 for 30 premiere.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Love that too.
It was. Oh, yeah.
Let's
should we
talk
talk about your day?
I mean, I know you're kind of a weird because you're in New York for the
Yeah,
summer.
it was a
but
strange
you
day.
live in LA. But do you want? Was today interesting, or is there a different day that you want to pick? Do you want to go through that was particularly interesting, or you
No, I
want
mean,
to go through
today-
a typical day in your life, or what?
Yeah, I mean,
You want to do today?
today was all right. I'm like, I have a show this weekend. I don't know when this comes out, but
This will come out before, so we can promote it. It's going to come out tomorrow. So
Oh, okay. So I have a show this Saturday night, August 18th at midnight at Caveat Theater. Comedians of Wrestling, SummerSlam Tacular with Dolph Ziggler on the show.
Wow.
It's going to be a stand-up show
Wait, what?
all about professional wrestling.
And he's performing on the big pay-per-view Sunday, and he's going to a comedy show Saturday night. That shows how
Saturday at
committed,
midnight.
How committed this
Wow.
guy is to the craft.
And he told me on my podcast today that he's like, he has press at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you're a fucking maniac.
It's
Wow.
the life.
Yeah, I know. These guys, I know, but it doesn't even faze him. So I love it.
yeah, it's his
So
life.
he's obviously the headliner of this show that you're doing, or is the headliner more of like a? Is he?
Well, I mean, it's more of like a, like a fun variety. Like
Yeah.
it has like a variety element to it.
Yeah.
There's no like traditional headliner.
Is he
Like
going to
technically,
su-
I'm the headliner.
Is he going to
of the
super
show,
kick
but
anybody?
He's definitely might super kick somebody. And
Okay,
there's-
cool.
I don't know who it's going to be.
So you have the show. You're in New York.
Chance it's me.
You're preparing for
You're
this?
getting ready for it.
Yeah, so I've been working on a bunch of. I have a bunch of. What happened was this. So you're talking about today, right?
Yes.
So I was
Yeah.
talking about this show. Sorry, let's talk specifically about today. So
When did you wake up?
I woke up. Oh, you want micro?
Where are you
details.
staying while you're in New York?
Yeah. So I
Are
had
you couch hopping?
no. I'm at my brother's.
Oh, okay.
I'm at my
Makes
brother's
sense.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got it.
my brother has a place here.
Okay.
So yeah, he's here. What did I do? I woke up. I woke up
time?
at 9. Well, I woke up at 10 today because I was out till 3 doing stand up.
Good reason.
Yeah,
to be-
yeah, I was out, so I didn't get home for a long time, and then I was like, yeah.
Wait, on last night was Monday, so you were doing stand up. Where were you on a Monday that late doing spots?
I did. What shows did I do last night? I did.
He did 10 minutes at the
I should've
Bonobo
show-
sample sale.
No, at the show I did was at 11 at the Brooklyn Comedy Collective.
What is that?
called Brick.
No, I don't know about it. Was it good?
Yeah, it was a good time.
Wow.
I had a good time because I'm prepared. I have all this material I'm doing for the show, so I'm
You
doing
have
like
a chunk about wrestling that has kind of gone viral.
yeah. So it went kind of viral, and that's kind of sparked this whole thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's why I was explaining the show and not my day.
Yeah.
that's
improperly.
Which is cool because a lot of comedians have tried the wrestling chunk and it hasn't, I feel like you kind of nailed it.
Yeah, so I have I have a good amount of material. What happened was, so on my podcast, I had this thing where I teased, like, I'm going to do a half hour of stand-up only on professional wrestling.
Right.
Okay? And it was not a joke, but it was like, I was working towards it, but not seriously.
Yeah.
Then I put out this one clip, and it got like 1 million views.
So cool.
Yeah. About why I think professional wrestling is better than basketball. I put it out during the NBA Finals, and then it got a lot of traction.
Yeah.
And do you find that, like, are most of the people who like it, are they also wrestling fans, or does it appeal to the non-wrestling fan as well?
No, non-wrestling fan. It's very accessible,
Yeah.
you know.
And he's very expressive in it. He's doing impressions and stuff.
Yeah, it's just kind of this point I make about how, like, there's not enough imagination in sports for me, you know?
Right.
Because I'm just like, I don't want to just do it. I'm just going to
sure,
do it.
sure.
I'm basically just doing
It's
the
like
bit.
Leno, like, I hear you don't like...
You know, it's weird.
Yeah.
You start, like, just doing your bit.
Yeah,
Check
yeah.
it out. Just Google why professional wrestling is better than basketball. So I put that out, and then that went super viral. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be in New York this summer. My wife's in New York. We have a place here because she's staying here. She was here with my dog. We don't have kids.
Right.
So I went back. I'm jumping all over the place.
okay.
But
It's fine.
I was here for a week. I think that's when we hung out, and I was just going to stay for a week. I went back to LA, shot a commercial, and then I was like, you know what? I can live off the residual checks for that and go watch my wife shoot.
Sure.
And I could do a bunch of stand-up and prepare for this stand-up special thing that I'm going to do on Saturday.
What's it like going to, like, non-wrestling comedy shows and doing your wrestling
It's
material?
very, very challenging. Like, I have a lot of material that, I know we're derailed from the day,
No,
but
it's
actually,
fine.
I think it's more interesting to talk about, like, what my summer has been like. Cause the summer, you know what I mean? Cause I don't know. So it's been very challenging. So I'm like, I wrote all this material. I have a 15 to like 17 minutes that I'm of material I think is really good that you do not have to be a wrestling fan to like.
Right.
And also because my background is in, like, I'm a UCB performer, improv performer, and sketch performer. Like, I was on Harold Team and Maud shows, which is like sketch performance shows. And so those shows are, and I had like a one-man show at UCB before. So I'm used to doing things that are like on theme.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
But like a lot of stand-ups are just
the
like
game, if you will.
absolutely.
I took a class.
Yeah, So it's kind of like more in my wheelhouse to do that, even than just being like, I'm just going to talk about a bunch of random shit.
Yeah.
The longer you do stand-up, the more you get into, like, not like, we're like, hey, we're all going to tell, you're doing a show where you're all going to tell sex stories. You're doing a show where you're going to talk about being Jewish or, like, whatever it is, and then you sort of, like, I mean, the way I always handle is just, like, over-prepare, write a ton of stuff, and then, like, hopefully at least, but it's not totally crazy, to have to do that.
To do what?
To just do, like, we're going to talk about wrestling,
Yeah, it's like
whatever.
themed shows.
You know,
It's a
that's
big-
kind of this thing where, like, I have almost like a thesis for the show, which is that wrestling is the best shit ever.
Yeah.
Right? It's the best thing ever.
Solid
You should
thesis.
all be watching it. It's the highest,
Yeah.
one of the highest levels of art and live theater on television. And, okay, I'm not exaggerating that, but I understand it's very extreme, but then I just say why.
Right.
Then the whole show is just the body of that essay.
It's like a term paper,
Right.
but you're acting it out.
Right. So it's kind of like I've been working on that. So it's been very, so I'm saying, then there's chunks of it that are super inside that are like, have been very challenging to work on shows. The cool thing and why I came to New York to do it, part of it was like, I shot that commercial, came back, is because there's like some comedy wrestling shows in New York.
Yeah.
That have been giving me time.
Wow.
And the crowds are like people I can tell like Randy Orton observations about and stuff that's like very narrow, and they've been extremely valuable. But I get like one shot a month at those.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I have to be very prepared to be like, I'm going to
Yes.
use this time properly. So it's been an extremely challenging thing, which is what I do to myself. I'm a guy who makes my life harder than it is to be.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to just burn this wrestling material, like go back to just doing regular material.
So this Saturday, you're going to do it all. You're going to like do all your wrestling, and then
Yeah, and Ziggler's on the show, and we're gonna, there's some angles. I'm gonna work in some angles and stuff too. It's gonna
Are
be a
there
good
any
time.
other possible guests? Surprise? You don't have to tell us who the guests are, but
Yeah, we have some possible guests
Okay,
too.
cool.
But it's
Great.
the show is. It's a good time. It's like after NXT at midnight.
That's
so
great,
we're
man.
keeping it to like a tight hour because people will be pretty tired. It starts at midnight.
at the Brooklyn Comedy Kibbutz.
Yeah.
no.
Collective.
Saturday is not at that. That was the one last night.
Oh,
the
sorry,
Saturday is where it's at the
Caveat.
Caveat Club.
Okay, yeah. So
The only caveat I have about that,
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
you have to.
I mean,
look
you could tour, right? You could tour with your wrestling material, but I guess you'd have to follow the wrestling people around, or what?
I feel like
Well, I'm filming a bunch of clips. That's the thing. I don't know if this is getting too boring.
I feel like-
Just
No, no,
explaining.
no. I
Guys,
feel like
here's my brand, guys.
I feel like you're a year away from being a comedian on the Jericho Cruise.
I mean, I would love that. That'd be
The
almost.
wrestler
I'd be like Jamie.
Chris Jericho
Sure.
is chartering a cruise with. There's going to be full-on wrestling shows on it, wrestlers signing autographs and this and that, and it's called a rock and wrestling cruise. So he's going to have like hair metal bands and wrestlers, and do like all the pomp and circumstance around both genres on like a week-long cruise.
Yeah,
He's doing this thing. It's like an experiment.
They
So
gotta
all these wrestler comedians are going on it, like Jim Brewer and whatever. And
Yeah. So
Ron
it's like
Funkus is gonna.
Yeah. No, he.
So I'm just saying, like that, there is potential for you to like build this show and with a destination in mind.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and the podcast, it's like from the clip, it's been growing, and so it's really cool. I just when I like wrestling a lot.
Yeah, I get
So
it.
you just go like, you know what? I'm just going to dedicate a chunk of time here to be working on this material, and then.
You're lucky to be
Out
able
there.
to have a summer where you can bop around.
Yeah, it's
What do
cool.
you
And
do?
then I also-
What do you do during the day?
Yeah, so I mean, I auditioned for a commercial today
In New York.
Yeah, so I came back. My commercial agent was like excited to take me back because I made them money when I lived in New York, and so I went to a commercial audition today. I waited at that for a while. I got caught in the rain.
There was like 5 minutes of
Yeah.
torrential downpour.
You guys want to hear about the audition?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you guys audition for commercials at all?
No,
Not anymore. I used to.
You used to, Matt. Were you good? Did you like it? Not were you good at it? Did you like it?
I did.
I never really liked it. I took one commercial acting class, and what happened was I actually never booked anything, but I did very early on, probably I want to say the second or third audition I ever went on. I auditioned to be one of the two Apple guys. It then ended up being John Hodgman and Justin Long.
Wow.
And they called me, the agent called me, and it was almost in like surprise, and was like, "Hey, they want to like put you on hold for this." Like, and I didn't know what that meant. Put you on hold.
Yeah, it means you're going to be disappointed. That's
Yes,
what that means.
exactly. And ultimately, I don't know which. My guess is that I wasn't cool enough to be the Justin Long guy, and I'm probably not dorky enough to be the John Hodgman guy, although maybe I am. I don't know.
No, I think you'd be. I mean, that's a perfect spot for you.
Yeah.
I think you would do well in commercials. So I mean, that's why I even. said it.
I mean, I usually had like day jobs working in TV, and I couldn't, so I had to target. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't like leave. more than,
Former
like,
guest
once or
of the
twice.
pod, Simi Kostanowicz, was the best I ever
He was
saw
the fruit
at
of the loom.
having a day job, but also robustly
Make fake doctor's appointments and-
auditioning for commercials and getting them, and still maintaining your like production day job.
Yes.
He's like
That's a hard
he has
skill to have.
We should have him back and talk
Yeah.
about how
We
he
did, I
navigated
think. I think
that.
we did
It was
talk about it, yeah.
unbelievable.
So-
I used to. I had out of school. I had an accounting job, and I would leave work, go in a business casual, go in like a McDonald's bathroom, change into like whatever the sports guy or whatever. I would do that, and then I would audition, come back, and when I would book them, people at work would be like, "Is that you in that commercial?" I remember one
When did
one
you
time
do
I was
that?
like, the first one I was like, "No, it's not me. It looks like
That's
me."
John Gabris.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's our neighbors.
So what happened at today's? Can you talk about it? Or
I did sign some kind of thing, but I don't really care. It was like a fantasy.
So did
football thing.
Omarosa. You know, who gives a shit?
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to spill the beans.
We have
I mean,
an
it's important.
NDA. You signed an NDA.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's for fantasy football?
I mean, I get so many. Like I said, I don't like sports, but I book so
Yeah,
much
you're
sports
like
stuff.
guy at
Yeah.
like Super Bowl party and commercial.
Yeah, I just booked a commercial. I shot one like a year ago where I was like, I played one-on-one against Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh wow.
And I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah.
Just like hanging out with this guy all day. And
This guy Carl is
yeah,
really tall.
This guy was massive.
Yeah.
Neil Brennan directed that, wasn't he? He was a past guest of the
that's
show,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Saw
One of our
that.
first.
Big
one of our
big
first.
Neil fan.
Yeah. Very funny.
that's
When I
hilarious.
booked that, I went in and I walked in and he was there. And I was like, hey, Neil, you're really funny, man. And then he was like, oh, thanks. And he was like, all right, that's good. I walked out and he booked me.
It's great.
Wow.
Because what the thing they were doing was like if a chair, they were doing anything where it was like they purposely had a chair drop and they wanted to just see your reaction when the chair.
Oh wow.
Anyway,
Yeah.
You live in the moment.
You
You're
have to be able to
improv
fake
actor.
the sports because
I thought that was a better story than it was.
No, you
edit that out?
got booked off just telling him he was funny.
Yeah.
That's a good tip. Just compliment the person.
I mean, this is before three
Compliment.
mics. You know what
Yeah.
I mean, or whatever. So he was
Yeah.
probably like,
Yeah.
you know, he was like, oh, nice. This guy
Did you
knows his
score a
shit.
basket against Karl Anthony Towns?
What?
Did you get
no.
any?
I tried so hard
Was
to
it-
score on him, and he would swat anything.
Everything,
I
yeah.
did like a lot of trick shots.
Yeah.
I did one where put it here like this.
He's still got
You know, like
it.
that move that didn't work.
Quick. I want to hear about your audition today, but a quick story that I may have told before. There was a commercial many years ago in New York that always bothered me, where it was like something. It was for some sports website or something, and the guy in the commercial goes, "And I can follow all my fantasy players." But the way he said it made clear that he didn't know what fantasy football was or had never heard the term said out loud. Because you would say, "I follow all my fantasy players." You wouldn't
Yeah.
say, "I follow all my fantasy players."
His cadence was wrong.
His cadence was all wrong, and I was like, nobody caught this along the
Yeah.
way. It bothered me.
No, that's me.
That's you.
Actually, I think that
no,
was me.
I think you could fake it. That was you.
I feel like I'm going to go home now and I'm going to notice you in like every commercial.
I also notoriously get cut from commercials and like chopped out. Like
Huh?
I don't know, you know how it is. It's so weird with this. Like I shot a Gatorade commercial.
Yeah.
For when I don't know. I'm just like running down my commercial
No, it's
resume for
fine.
you guys.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with my
This
day.
is what our podcast is about.
Yeah,
no, we
yeah.
lost track of the day. It's fine. This is much
okay.
more.
Listen, guys, I work.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Yeah.
guys want to know
You're
that
good.
I work.
I
all
want to
right?
hear about the audition
Yeah,
today.
let's hear about one audition.
The one today?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Okay, today it was a fantasy football thing where it was like a guy who there's no words. Okay, it's all about the expression.
Oh.
And it was a guy
Which will be
typing-
great on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone, close your eyes. Just imagine this, okay? And I'm just gonna
Imagine John Gabris
Yeah.
making a. Okay.
Yeah, imagine John Gabris, 100 pounds less, and that's right, he can handle that. So I'm typing, and then I'm deciding which player to choose.
Yeah.
In fantasy football, when you have to choose your favorite fantasy players, I guess that's a hard decision.
Yeah, very
Who
very
to put in
difficult.
that week? Yeah.
Sure. You're setting your roster is what you're doing.
Right,
You're
so it's a
setting your
guy
roster.
who's like getting so into it that he's like chewing on a pen that it like explodes all over his face.
Oh, okay.
And then a coworker is like, "You got it on your face," and he like doesn't even hear them. That's it.
All right.
Did you chew on an actual pen?
No, they're like, "Don't chew the pen, please."
Yeah.
We
I
need
now
to
have
use
the
this
control.
pen for all the auditions.
yeah.
Well, speaking of that, I just texted Kimwitz that we need to set a draft date.
We do. Yeah, we are in the same.
Okay.
We're in the same fantasy league.
We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
So I went to that. You want to know my
Yeah,
show?
sure. Yeah.
I want to know about your
Got
meals.
caught in the rain.
And then I was on the phone with my wife, helping her. She's working on a project, something that she's trying to sell to the business.
Yeah.
That we kind of worked on together. That I was like talking her through a lot of elements of it. That's, we were talking about that earlier, like how me and my wife, we kind of work really well together.
That's great.
It's good. Yeah. It's like we have our tastes line up very well.
Yeah.
So it's good, but then when it can be stressful within this biz.
Yeah.
But it's So I was talking to her for a while about some details of her
Sure.
of her thing. I don't want to
Are you,
jinx or whatever.
are you
and
walking?
then-
Are you on the
Walking
street
and
walking
talking.
and talking? Or are you
yeah, a lot of like walk and talk because now I'm at my brother's. You know what I mean? Like I'm just
Yeah.
in New York and I'm just like
What area is where you're staying?
and my brother's on the Upper East Side.
Got it.
Yeah.
So a lot of younger.
So I'm already down here. You guys are down here.
Yeah.
Plus, I had to go pick up some T-shirts for my live show. Guys, you can buy a T-shirt.
Merch is a big deal.
You can buy merch
in the wrestling community. If you're doing any kind of show, you have to have merch.
I gotta say, it sounds like you were pretty busy today.
I was busy,
You had a lot to do.
but what made it super busy was I did a lot of walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the rain.
Are you guys big walkers?
Huge walkers.
Yeah, I like to if I can.
I now live at 110th and Broadway, and I can't walk home from where I work because that's epically long.
Where do you work?
In like Times Square. But
Nice.
what I'll do is I'll take the express to 96, and I'll get out at 96, and I'll walk because I missed the walking. So
Yeah.
I'll walk the 90, whatever, 14 blocks just
Right.
to get that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did a lot of walking this weekend because we stayed in the city and we had 2 dogs.
Yeah.
So what is there anything else?
We ran into you walking. We were driving.
We did. That's right.
We
I
were
forgot-
driving
forgot to
across,
mention this.
We
Yeah.
were driving across town, and
I
I
was
go,
walking to pick up my
I
son
think
at
that's Matt.
daycare.
And then we got closer.
We
to
live
you,
in the
and it was
same
you.
neighborhood now, which is very weird.
So you were walking on the sidewalk.
I was going to pick up and then I caught up to you on foot.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Well-
else with Dan before we get to the blow off? We should.
No, I just good luck with your show.
Yeah, it
Like I
should be
said,
really
I
fun.
think wrestling is. It seems like it should be so easy to do material about it, and yet it ends up being difficult, and you kind of crack the nuts.
Well,
So
every comic who tries to do wrestling material, it's always there's like
It's the
2
same
premises. It's just like, oh, people say it's fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Everyone hits it the same way. I thought about it so autistically, and I also feel so passionately that it is better.
and it shows.
It is better than
Well-
everything else on television. Not everything else. Not better than the stuff you guys
Yeah,
make.
it's fine. I'm on the internet. Listen, and I'll say too, there are so
But
many.
I love Rosenberg.
Invariably, there are so many very successful comedians who love wrestling passionately. Ron Funches, Mike Lawrence,
Yeah.
Tate Jermaine, and so you're the guy who kind of put it into your material and kind of nailed it. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that's also
big
why I
ups.
started the podcast. Is I would be at auditions in LA and I bump into another wrestling guy.
Yeah. So
And then we just end up. I end up being like, "Oh, you're going in now?" Even though I already went in, I can leave. I'm like, "I'll wait for you." So
Do
we
you
keep
have-
talking about Brock.
Do you
Do you know
have?
what I mean?
Do you have people on the podcast who know nothing about wrestling or who aren't?
My wife. My wife
yeah.
comes on because it's a whole running thing where I try to explain
and what's
things.
so funny too, and it all comes
Yeah.
full circle. In her act, she talks about having a husband who's obsessed with wrestling.
Yeah, she
cracked that nut.
Yeah. I know it's
Which is
nuts.
awesome.
And
You
it's
guys-
weird because my podcast, the listeners are kind of like my wife's kind of like the heel who's like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? She's kind of just
That's right.
yeah, I don't know. I took her to a house show. She had it was Brock was on it and she didn't care at all.
Yeah.
She was,
Well, James,
She's the Nikolai Volkov.
She
of the
talked about that
podcast.
on here.
Did I get that right?
You got it, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
she sings the Russian national anthem before every podcast. Jamie and I went on a double date with Rosenberg and Alexa to WrestleMania in New Orleans. We spent the weekend together.
That's
and the
awesome.
four of us
Not
went to
Jamie,
WrestleMania.
your wife.
So-
Did you know
Yeah,
that?
weirdly, me and Jamie
Yes.
Lee.
Yeah.
this I got to know about this. I'm sorry, Matt. It's coming back to
Yes,
wrestling. I apologize,
we wife
Matt.
swapped. Continue.
That was because did you put keys in the bowl?
Yeah.
Wait, do you do keys with just 2 couples? I don't
now
know.
you do
I don't
phones.
know what a
you
key
do
party
phones
is.
now.
Yeah,
It's
phones in
2018.
the
Get
bowl.
with the
So, where is your wife at with wrestling?
very into it when we were dating. Got into it for me. Really enjoyed it. I took her to live shows. She was amazed by the production. She went to WrestleMania. Like I said, she was like, "This is an amazing multimedia thing." Got into the characters, etc. And then the E shows. And now that we're married, it's just I don't need to care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already, but
She already
I will
pledged
say,
your
but
fraternity
I will say
of wrestling?
she texted me yesterday who died, and then I said Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and then she asked a couple follow-up questions. So she cares adjacently because she knows I care, which I very much appreciate. And she understands that Monday at when she's going to sleep, I'm going to go in the living room and watch Raw. Now as opposed to we're going to watch it together. We watch The Bachelor or Bachelor in Paradise, and then she goes to bed and I watch Raw. So we figure it out.
My wife hates wrestling, but she likes that people like what I'm doing.
There you go. That's important. Yeah. You found something. Yeah.
She appreciates it.
Yeah.
She appreciates what is going on, but sometimes she'll walk in and something ridiculous will be happening on the TV, and it'll be like, really, with this stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
Because there's a lot of bad.
Wrestling is mostly bad, but then the good stuff is like
as I always
so
say, the holy
amazing.
shit moments keep you
Absolutely.
hooked.
But it's like 95% bad.
Yeah.
Your YouTube video about whatever she likes did not get a million hits.
No, it
So,
did not.
yes.
Did not. Yeah. It's like,
so-
you guys like Abercrombie?
Here's the thing about Abercrombie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys have been to Rose Cafe.
Yeah.
So tell us about how you blow people
Yeah.
off. This is a segment we call the blow off.
I've heard
how do you
this.
go about blowing people off? Do you use some form of how do you tell people that you're too busy to hang out with them?
I mean, I tell them I have shows. You know
You
what I
just
mean?
lie about shows?
I'll tell people I have shows, but a lot of times it's not a lie. It's just like I could work around the show. I could do the show.
I could go
probably
see
ask
you.
to go up early or something,
Sure.
or right. You know, I could, or I could, or it's a show that I like. Ask to be on or something. There's times where I'm like, all right, well, I can just write off this night because I'm kind of working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do a lot of that. Sometimes one of my main moves is just setting up phantom plans. You know, like where I'm like, hey, we got to do something, you know, but then I never schedule it.
Right.
Right.
You
Yeah.
agreeing?
Well,
I think he's on the phone. That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
I've done phantom plans.
So that's not really a blow off. As
That's-
much
I'm
as
bad
like
at it. I need to get better at the phantom plan because I'm when someone says I make plans, I do follow up, and sometimes it ends up being not worth it.
Yeah, well, this wasn't. You see, this happened.
This
We
happened.
talked about
Yeah.
this. It wasn't a phantom plan.
Well, I
You
was
should have
glad.
fucking blew me off.
No, this was great. I'm glad we did.
But just
that.
for the practice.
I know, right?
exhibition.
Yeah. Well, thank you for giving me permission. Next time, I promise. I'll just-
No,
This is good. I mean, it's clear that you podcast because you the conversation was it was a lot of fun.
What's your podcast called again?
it's called Comedians of Wrestling.
Comedians
It's
of Wrestling. Okay.
It's a professional wrestling podcast where we
I have it in my queue. I listen to it.
Yeah, where we just it's mostly focused on like being funny with professional wrestling.
I have to come on.
having fun with it.
I have to
I would
come
love
on.
to have you on.
We've talked
we
about it
talked
many
about it
times,
before
yeah.
when you're
How much longer are you in New York?
I'm not really here anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you booked that fantasy football commercial where the pen explodes in your face.
Well, we'll see. I mean, now I feel like now that I spoke about it, it means I'm
You
probably
put it in the universe. You manifest
Oh
destiny.
yeah, so I put
They
it.
actually have to cancel the whole shoot now that he mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I need to get out to LA again. We did like a whole podcast thing, so I need to
Yeah.
get out and do more.
Let me know when you're in town. Come,
We'll do it.
you come
And
to the
I wanna
studio
go
where
to
the Shawn
PWG.
Michaels at.
I've never done PWG.
I'm going to Bola. I think I'm going with
He's getting
Dipperstein and
evil.
Skyler.
Yeah, so it's the
You got-
whole
yeah.
like LA adjacent to our New York
Yeah.
crew.
Well, if you want to come Saturday, I'll put in a ticket for you because I put in tickets for everybody. If you can make it, no worries. You know.
Yeah, I'll.
Are you going
I'll-
to NXT?
I am going to NXT. I might have to go home after that.
Yeah.
Pregnant wife. And
Yeah,
all.
no,
But we'll see.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I know. I saw that. We didn't get to that.
He's going to come out with a luchador mask on. Listen, thank you, Dan Black.
Yes.
How do we find you on the social medias?
You hit me up. My Twitter is @DBlackAttack. I didn't know Twitter was going to be around this long.
Sure.
It's like AOL screen names. I was
Absolutely.
Aria
Fuck.
Schmagwagon.
The president is real Donald Trump, so that throws nobody.
Yeah.
You can't make fun of anyone's Twitter.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
the worst fucking Twitter name, and he's the president.
Yeah.
So
I'm just DBlackAttack
Yeah.
on Twitter. Yeah. You can check out Comedians of Wrestling
Hey,
podcast.
it's a Dan Black attack.
Yeah.
It's 7 a.m.
Yeah, coming at you.
I love
yeah. That is how I host my show. It's like full on drive time.
Yep.
And your show Saturday. Tickets are still on sale. Your show.
Caveat.
Yeah.
Dot NYC
At midnight.
and
Cool. Thanks, man, for coming. This was
No,
really
thanks
fun.
for having me,
Thanks,
guys.
Dan
It's a
Black.
good time.
Stay busy,
everybody.
All right.
Voicemail, cause I'm busy. Whenever I get with her, say I'm busy. And I'm gonna hit you later, cause I'm busy. Busy with her.